Hello and welcome to the session where we'll be looking at the booking system. So this is a microservice which serves into most of the AutoScholar components. You'll see the booking service used in the Casework Counselor, which is where we'll just illustrate it, but it has many applications in other places like lecturers can use it for scheduling their lectures and for logging attendance. Students can use it in forming study groups. Lecturers can also use it to set their assessment dates and to log whether or not the marks have been captured and various applications like that. So let's just look at it for now in the context of the Casework Counselor. So this is, of course, one of the components in the AutoScholar Advisor system. So in the Casework Counselor, we have various aspects like managing the bookings with students, managing their case files, and so on. And here, if you just search for a student, of course, it's going to load up the student with the student number. Noting that this is a fictitious student, we are looking at the Scholar Cloud implementation, which is a simulated institution purely for the purpose of presentation at this stage. So in Casework Counselor, you can see something about the academic records of the student, and this kind of interface has been used repeatedly. So that's just for a quick view at the student. And now let's look at the bookings. So if we click on Manage Bookings, then we can see this interface. So clicking on that will load up counselor bookings. And if you click on Read, that's going to load up all the bookings that's available for whoever it is that's logged in here. So of course you log in up top here. So under my account, there are just these two bookings. And if I click on any booking, then it shows me the attendees for that booking there. So to create a booking, you'll see here, Edit Bookings. And this is an accordion. You'll see some other interfaces here. So if I click on Edit Attendees, then given that I've selected this booking, then I can edit the attendees, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail just now. And there's also My Registrations. So if I want to mark myself as being present at an event, you can use this My Registrations. So we'll see how to do that just now. So let's first look at creating a booking. So if we've gone under Edit Bookings, you can create a label for your booking. Let's just call this booking 3. And then under event type will appear a list of the types of events that's available for that type of person using the service. So a counselor will have certain types of events available. So I'm just leaving that blank for now. And then here's where you set the booking time. So you can click on a month or a year, and so you select the date here and then the time there. You can also edit this time to be a more precise number. So you can, even though this is listed in hours here, you can customize that time. So we've set the start time and then the end time. Yeah, that's fine. So that's set. And then this attendance pin, that was the pin for booking 3. So currently we have booking 3 selected. We are starting to make a new, we have booking 2 selected. So we are currently creating booking 3. We can specify the venue here, and we can add notes to perhaps let our invitees know what this event is about. And then if we click on create, then you'll see the spinner, and then here it's created. And if you look back here, you've got different pins, right? So you have a new attendance pin for booking 3. If you click on booking 1, you'll see that's a different pin, and that's a different pin. So you have a randomly generated pin for the event as well. And that helps you with attendance tracking, which we'll see just now. So anyway, we've created this booking 3, and it has those dates. So you can edit this further. So we've created the booking. You can also load up all your bookings, as we said earlier, if you click on read. So that's loaded up all our bookings, and it will order these with the reverse date order. And then you can update, so you can edit this and update the event, or you can remove the event. And then the other thing you can do is add this to a calendar. So if I click add to calendar, you can see all the different email options or different calendar options. Number one, you can download the iCal file. So you can download a calendar entry file and put it in your calendar that way. But let's just take an easy approach and use Google. The other ones are represented here. So you've got Teams and Outlook and Apple. So all the usual ones, even Yahoo is here. So you have these different options, and let's just click on Google. So that will launch a new tab in your browser, and we should see, so here you can see the title of that booking and the times that we've specified. So that's all correct. And so we just need to say save here. So you can save that booking and then just close that tab, and then you're back here. So you can add this to any of your calendars. So that booking's in our calendar now. And what we may want to do next is invite people to attend the event. So if we say here, edit attendees, then number one, we may want to search for students. So if this is a counselor, you would want to search for students to attend that booking. So here I've pre-populated with a student number. So if I click search here, it will find that student. And if I just click on that student, then you'll see it's populated the attendee user ID here, and you can set the status here. So if I click on create, then that will invite this the student to this event. And by the way, this interface, in a way, it's a little deconstructed, so it's a little technical right now. This interface will be improved so that it's a more natural feel. So at the moment, if you want to invite someone, instead of clicking a nice invite button, you have to create something with a status of invited. So this is giving you something of a look at the way the data is actually structured. But in a revised version, there'll be a much more natural interface. For now, this is functional in this way. So we have now invited the student to this event. So if I go back and click on the other events, you can see that. And then this one has this one invited student, right? So this is typically a meeting that a counselor would set up for a student. If instead this was a lecturer and that event was actually a lecture, then in that case, what you would want to do is monitor the attendance by your students at the lectures and other class events. So what you would do in that case is look up the PIN for that event. So as a lecturer, you would go and say, okay, I'm currently giving lecture for booking 3. So that's the attendance PIN. So at some point during the lecture, you would announce to the class, please go ahead and enter the PIN 5986 for this lecture. And then the students would, in principle, head on over to their student central component, and there they would have this registration form. So you would enter, or the student would enter the ID for this for the event and the PIN. So the PIN that we saw, that 4-digit PIN, and then an ID for the event, and you would click on register attended. So that's how you can register your attendance. You can time limit this so that you only have a minute to enter that PIN, and that would help with, for example, students sharing that PIN with other students and who are not at the event. So there's something of an effort to mitigate that. It's not foolproof, of course. It is possible that there will be some sharing of PINs within that 1 minute and so on, but hopefully that would mitigate it. There are many ways to get around trying to register at events, but hopefully the students largely follow the honor system, and that's how you can monitor attendance. So that's if you use the booking system for that application. Of course, in this context for casework counseling, this is simply for managing your bookings. You can also use the notes to stash, for instance, your Zoom link and things like that. So that's how you can create a booking. And as we mentioned, you can also use this to schedule your assessment dates. So you can provide the label, and there is a field that's not shown here, but there is a context that's also stored. So this interface, when it presents itself in, for instance, an assessment scheduler, it will have a hidden field of a context. So that context will mark that it's for an assessment schedule. And in that case, it won't show up under your bookings. It will simply log that you can schedule assessments there. Anyway, we'll see that in an updated version of the ClassView Connect. So that's how you can create bookings. That's how you can find attendees and add them to a booking. And that's how you can register yourself as present at an event. So you would use this more for events rather than for meetings and things like that. Okay, so hopefully that makes clear how we can use the bookings system to facilitate all the processes like scheduling things and setting meetings and tracking attendance and so on. So thanks for listening.